Picarillo. You take a look. Kickarillo. Picarillo will try the field goal. Ball's going to be spotted at the
24 yards.
14, so let's call it a 24-yard attempt. It's up, and he booms it in. It's good.
7 of 8 this year.
Picarella continues his excellent kicking. Our score, Mount Union 24, Ohio Northern nothing. You're watching college football on NKTelco Sports.
Unpack your potential with a career at Pratt Industries. Working at Pratt Industries is more than a job. It's a sustainable career.
Pratt Industries to me is a job. It's my career. It's the way I put food on my table, but I love what I do.
We offer competitive pay, excellent benefits, and opportunities for career advancement. To apply, visit careers.prattindustries.com.
Mount Union will kick it off. 4:43 to go here in the first half of play. And fair catch is made inside the 5 by Layton. And LJ Layton, the junior, makes the fair catch, and clock stops at 4:43. And Northern will do business at the 25-yard line.
Great stop by the defense there, though, in the red zone on that last set for Northern.
Yeah, positive defensive play.
Also big help from the 12th man, the Turf Monster.
Yeah,
2 times you don't want to mess with that.
Yeah,
as it kind of changes and you get those pellets up, and when it snows here in Ada.
McConnell will take the snap. Oh, got a new one. Number 12.
I was gonna say that.
Garrison Higgins, a freshman. Higgins, a 5'11", 195-pound freshman and a quarterback for Ohio Northern.
Waikoloa, Hawaii, at a Westlake High School. Said, how'd you get him to come here? So you should have seen the first time he saw snow. That's what Dean Paul told me.
Higgins is going to get his chance against the number 2 team in the country. 4 minutes plus here in the first half of play.
It's his first career action.
Handoff, Martin. And he, very little gain there.
You know, he initially was kind of looking at where do I want to go, and he ended up here, but had a terrific career. He actually ends up finishing his high school career in Utah after starting in Hawaii and being born on the island of Kona. I'm not even going to pretend to say where the name of the actual city is. It won't go well.
So your Hawaiian, does that mean geography on Hawaii is a little weak? Here comes the blitz.
It means Mike Hearn's understanding of how to say lots of letters starting with K's is not good.
That's understood.
Incomplete pass to Brock Martin.
That'll make it 4th down and 12, and they'll kick it away.
You know, and we talked about it, about losing a transcendent program talent like Brody Hahn, and how exactly do you replace a multiple-year starter and a guy who's really been the face of your program. And with having Trevor McConnell, who's a 5-year player in his 5th year, then kind of trying to figure out, do you go with a freshman? Do you go with McConnell early? They have about the same terms of number of games played. McConnell came in with only 5 in his first handful of years, but something Northern's kind of trying to figure out. And
pressure.
Not easy against the number 2 team in the country.
No, it isn't. And the ball bounces to the 50-yard line, goes out of bounds. So
defense, I think, is maybe not getting enough credit right now, though. But the problem with it is short possessions for the Northern offense is leaving these guys on the field for quite a long period of time.
Yeah, you just take a look at the time of possession in this one. It's going to dominate it by Mount Union. Anything that Ohio Northern can get, keep Mount Union's offense off the field, is to their benefit. As
right now it's 16-15 to 9:02.
That's almost not quite double, but a substantial advantage for Mount Union. Plunk at quarterback at the 45. He'll fake the handoff to Parker. Roll to his left. Pass is completed. Big tight end will move it to the 35-yard line.
Gotta believe that's not an easy play to pull off for a quarterback. Wygant with the reception, just his second of the year. But that's a right-handed quarterback bootlegging to his left, running away from a guy coming on his right side where his natural throwing motion is. Gain of 11.
Difficult pass, and it's completed. 1st and 10 football at the 36-yard line. I'll mark it at the 35-yard line.
So actually a gain of 15 on the play.
Plunk, Parker. Good defense there by Ohio Northern. Yep, Woodfork.
You just stopped that play before it got going.
Kadarius Woodfork, 6'1", 270-pound defensive lineman for the Polar Bears, makes the stop.
I just like that he's from Brownsville, Tennessee, where Tina Turner's from.
How do you know that Brownsville, Tennessee? Why would you know that?
I looked it up.
You looked it up?
Oh, I have things on all these kids. I'm fascinated by who else is from where they're from.
Brownsville, Tennessee.
Michael Johnson, number 9 for Northern. He's from where Cam Newton's from, College Park, Georgia.
Over the middle. Pass is
Guess who?
Completed. Ruby. And
I'm curious how they spot this. Because he started at about the 32-yard line. And he didn't gain anything.
They'll mark it at the 36-yard line.
Peyton Wilson heads out. No gain on the play.
3rd down and 11.
Dwayne Rowe out of Hinesville, Georgia, the freshman, comes in on the corner. And like I said, this is about kind of flipping. Quintel Bryant has been the shadow for Wayne Ruby, but it looks like Dwayne Rowe's going to get a chance now.
Beaver comes back into the line for Ohio Northern.
Starting in his 29th game. Great protection.
Clock over the middle. Pass is completed. Nice gain as Orion Finley.
He was originally offered by the University of Memphis. Orion Finley was.
It's going to make it 4th down and 2. So Mount Union.
Here comes the band.
Band is out there.
Timeout for Mount.
Mount Union will take the timeout.
Can't take them home with you.
42 seconds left here in the first half. Our score, Ohio Northern finds themselves trailing Mount Union 24, Ohio Northern nothing. You're watching college football on NKTelco Sports.
Carriage Works has expanded and now can hold up to 25 cars in our service bay. Carriage Works thrives on customer satisfaction. We accomplish that by providing top-of-the-line technology. Carriage Works now uses a laser beam system to measure down to the millimeter of factory specs to better service you and get you back on the road. Carriage Works has a brand new top-of-the-line paint booth that uses waterborne paint. There's no job too big or too small for Carriage Works. We're certified collision specialists. Come in and see us today.
seconds, 18 seconds.
Miguel Johnson on the stop when he also is the pointer down.
We are here, and here, and here. Minster Bank is everywhere, providing every banking service that you need to keep your financial life in order. Whether you are on the go or stopping by one of our branches, Minster Bank is here for you. We proudly support the communities where you live. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success. Whatever Cards and Games in Ada is your locally owned, family-friendly business for all your gaming needs. We carry a wide range of collectible card games, board games, family games, role-playing games, educational games for all ages, and more. Stop in today for your much-needed expansion packs and war miniatures. We are an official tournament store for Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, and Cardfight Vanguard. Expect an enjoyable time at Whatever Cards and Games, where there's fun for everyone.
At Four Seasons Drive-Thru, we offer weekly specials that are sure to satisfy all appetites. Monday through Thursday, come in to enjoy our daily lunch specials. Friday is our Get It Till It's Gone fish special. Friday and Saturday, grab a 16-inch 3-item pizza, 10 wings, and a 2-liter for just $20. Sunday, we also have a 3-piece chicken for $5 and a 16-piece for $20. Four Seasons Drive-Thru, great drinks, great food, wonderful service, and amazing prices.
Households are using more connected devices than ever before. TVs are streaming, smartphones are browsing, security cameras are watching, and virtual assistants are, well, assisting.
You'll need an umbrella today.
As you add more devices, we are constantly improving our technology to deliver the fastest and most reliable internet to your home. So make sure you have enough bandwidth. Get NKTelco high-speed internet with speeds up to 1 gig. Call 1-888-NKTelco today.
Are you looking for a rewarding career? Lincoln Electric Automation in Coldwater and Fort Loramie supplies top-of-the-line automation systems to manufacturers. Lincoln Electric Automation routinely develops its team through hiring and by offering advanced technical training. We understand that every employee matters, and every role contributes to the success of our business. We offer advancement opportunities, competitive wages, and benefit packages. Visit LincolnElectric.com and get on track to a better career and a better future.
Back here at Ohio Northern, the Polar Bears find themselves down 31-0 to the number 2 team in the country here at halftime, Mount Union, 31-0. Let's take a look at those numbers. And boy, when you take a look at the scoring alone, 3 touchdown passes to Wayne Ruby from Braxton Plunk. That pretty well sets the tone for the first half.
Well, they tried on the 4th one, too, because they ran a screen where Ruby just sort of slipped. But Braxton Plunk ends up running for a touchdown. You see rushing yards 90-11, total yards 314-12, first downs 15-1. I mean, everything is sort of going Mount's way. It looked like for at least one drive they were going to have to punt, but there was that big penalty on 3rd down. They end up, that's when Piccarello kicks the field goal to make it 24-0. Mount has punted 5 times on all 5 of their possessions in the first half. But again, I go back to this, kind of what we said towards the end. They had that big stand inside the red zone on the second to last possession for Mount. They gave up the zone read option touchdown by the quarterback on the last drive, but they played much better in the second part of the second half than they did at any other point.
Yeah, the Ohio Northern defense was able to try and do some things. It's such a an opponent that they're facing here with so many different weapons, and it'll be interesting to see how Mount Union starts this third quarter out and who plays and who doesn't play, because as you look at most of the games that they played this season, most of the starters play one half, and that's been it. And the numbers are based on mostly the starters playing just a half of football for Mount Union.
Well, and it's a thing too where we talked about it with Alma here earlier this season, that Northern is in a transition period, and that how many starters they lost and how many guys that were significant contributors, that they might be old class-wise, but they're a younger football team, whereas Mount is a machine that pretty much returned everybody at every key spot. They have 4 preseason All-Americans. They have pretty much the entire first-team All-OAC list back from a year ago, if not populating the second team. And that's kind of the difference is right now, is that experience, that Mount's not making those early team mistakes.
And the kick is away, and we're going to watch it sail into the end zone with that wind.
I like LJ Payton just threw his hands up of, you're just not going to give me a chance to do anything here.
Elliott Warner booms it deep into the end zone. So Ohio Northern will have the football, and it'll be interesting to see who they start in the third quarter at quarterback.
I would think we're going to see a good amount of Garrison Higgins as he comes out on the field there. Talked about a young man from Hawaii, finished up in high school at Utah. Had a terrific high school career, and this isn't the worst thing in the world for Northern. With Figueroa being unavailable, to kind of go and try to figure out what's your future going to be.
And Higgins will call the signals. Garrison Higgins, he'll fake the handoff. He's going out to the right side. Pass is completed as Layton will make the catch, and he'll go out of bounds at inside the 40. And boy, nice start to the second half for Ohio Northern.
His second career throw, by the way. He missed the first one, but completes on a huge pass here. 35 yards.
LJ Payton, or
actually 37. Yeah, that was a great double move, too. I really thought he was going to go to the tight end in Miller in the slot, but you see that replay, and that little shoulder shake allowed him to get to the outside.
Yep, great move. Ohio Northern into Mount Union territory.
I really think
38.
This kid's going to have a bright career. Everything I've read about him.
Higgins with the snap, straight back over the middle.
There it is.
Ike unable to quite, cannot hang on to it. That had touchdown all is unable to win
touchdown there.
So that'll make it 2nd down and 10. Football stays at the 38-yard line.
That's the one they'll talk about in the receivers room all week.
Higgins looks to the Ohio Northern play caller. Signal comes in. 2 receivers left side. Ike would like to have it again. Martin's going to get the call. He's going to go forward for a couple. So
Martin comes in, number 14 all-time in rushing yards to begin the season in Northern history. Just 16 away from moving into 13th, but just has not been able to get that burst that he's had most of his career here at Northern.
3rd down and 9. Football at the 37-yard line.
Jet Morgan seems a little confused about where this is going to go. I like DeMario in the slot on the right side. Maybe a play action to try to create something down the seam.
Straight back goes Higgins. Over the middle. Pass is going to be intercepted at about the 17-yard line, as number 27 will come
Ian
up
Sexton,
with it.
Second team, or actually he's got 2 all academic selections. He just jumped in front of the route.
Ian Sexton out of Dover, Ohio, 6 foot, 195-pound senior with the interception.
Pretty much right on cue. Dover's nickname, the Tornadoes. And he was a flurry right through there.
As the wind is out of the northeast.
It's swirling. It is swirling. It is ridiculous.
Yes.
We were standing outside during the halftime break, and I about blew away.
Yeah, there's a lot of wind out there, that's for sure.
And started hearing some lady sing, doot, 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 doot. That's the Wizard of Oz out there.
Mount Union with the football. And Parker's going to start the second half, probably for the first time this season. He'll get it back up to about the 20-yard line. Pick up a 3, second
Interestingly
down and 7.
designed play. He's got 16 carries, 84 yards now, but a kind of a delayed draw that started to the right. He, for whatever reason, decided to cut back left. Out goes Peyton Wilson. Was a tackling machine, led Northern in tackles last year after a terrific career at Shawnee, which is pretty much a pipeline to Ohio Northern now.
And there's a movement, at least we're going to think it's a movement, as Woodfork.
Woodfork tried to say, no, Mason Fortner drew me off. And they were right.
They'll mark it back to the 15-yard line.
So the worst part about that is you get the penalty and you get run over. You know, a 270-pound man just ran him over.
Painful experience it can be at times. Plunk over the middle, incomplete, almost intercepted as it in and out of the Mount Union receiver's hands. And number 31 in on the defense there. That's
it was Edwin Reed, the senior, who had that drop. But he was a big one too. I was reading about him, and he's a 5th or 6th receiver for Mount. He actually had interest from Michigan State and Middle Tennessee when he was in high school.
And he's the 5th and 6th receiver at Mount Union. Here comes the draw. Parker, he's got room.
Ooh.
He's got the first down. He's up to the 30-yard line.
Gain of 15 and a first down. You need 15, he'll get you 15.
And Parker does it. They'll move the chains.
Talked about it earlier. He's just got that explosive first step. DeAndre Parker.
84 yards rushing.
153 yards he came in on the year. He's maybe going to finish the night close to that if he keeps going this way.
Add that 15, he's at 99 yards. Plunk rolling out. Finds his receiver.
Right to Orion Finley.
Finley with the catch, his 3rd catch of the afternoon. And it's going to make it first down. Football at the Mount Union 44-yard line.
17th first down for Mount. And that's Finley. I love his story. I talked about earlier on that he played at 3 different colleges. When he was at Lyon College, he had a 98-yard kickoff return against Texas Western for a touchdown. It's been around. That ball hit the center.
Snap is...
Fortner had hit him a little high on his rear end.
And number 9, Plunk will fall on it.
He was arguing, Plunk was, that maybe Northern got a cross early. I don't know. Something happened there because the center and Fortner is going to go out. He'll be replaced by John Cisneros out of Texas, 5'10", 260.
Boy, just immediately, boom.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but a loss of 3.
That's going to make it second down and 13. Football to 41. Plunk left side. Parker trying to move upfield. And
he's not a big kid, 5'9", 165, but he uses his body so well that he turned again what could have been, I think that might be a run, to be honest with you. That was about as close to a lateral, I think, as you can get.
Dalton Young in on the stop for Ohio Northern, number 17.
He's got a
bunch of tackles.
At least half a dozen tackles, I would think. He has 14.
Football at 43.
He has 14
tackles.
Northern has him for 14.
He might have all their tackles.
Penalty flag, penalty flag, penalty flag.
Flags all over the place. Plunk will get it out of bounds, and
I don't think Plunk knows that there were multiple penalty flags. 2 Northern players end up taking each other out. Peyton Wilson has to go to the sideline.
Let's sort through it. A couple of flags. Normally that means holding. It is. Holding against Mount Union. So 10 minutes and 6 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Well, the funniest part about it was that was the most emotion that Plunk has pretty much shown today. Was, hey, here's the first down right in front of the Northern bench. And then they just all pointed and said, excuse me, sir, we're going to need you to go the other way.
Football at the 33. So Mount Union looking at long yardage here. 3rd down, 21. At the 33. So let's see
what's your 21-yard play call?
They'll have one.
I would think DeAndre Parker is probably involved in the answer.
Plunk straight back. He's going long. Intercepted. Intercepted by number 31, Terrion Ross.
A good play for him. Just kind of trailed his man down the sideline, jumped in front of him at the last second, and picked that ball off.
So Ross makes the big play.
It's a positive note for Northern. I said their defense had been improving in terms of what they had been doing, but they show off on the first one here. And you think back to it, it's a 31-0 game, but Northern had a touchdown that fell out of the hands of Austin Ike. It could be 31-7. Plus that, you're kind of trying to gain a little momentum if you're Northern.
And the numbers for Mount Union, sometime or another, they come down to earth just a little bit. You know, Plunk 19 out of 25 for 240 yards.
I think that's his most incompletions in a game this year.
High, you know, the efficiency rating, second in the country at 220 plus. I mean, those are some pretty high-end numbers.
Brock Martin gets 2 on first down.
Second down 8, football to 36. Ike will go to the short side. As Higgins takes the snap. Martin across the 35, gets up near the 37-yard line. Let's call it 3rd down and 6 for Ohio Northern, trying to get something put together here.
Again, Brock Martin's got 10 carries in this game. His longest run is 4 yards. This is a kid that is normally, like I said, he just has not been able to get it going this year with the immense pressure that a younger offensive line for Northern has been facing.
And Martin with 10 rushes, 15 yards. And as you said, the longest 4 yards. He stands behind Higgins. Higgins will roll to his left. He's going to throw it. Throws it up. The ball is loose and bounced off one of the Mount Union defenders, and
he sort of got locked in that he was going to go to Jet Morgan there pretty much at the end of that at all times. But Mason McMillan, kind of one of those guys who came over the top to try to help out. It kind of telegraphed that a little bit, too, because I thought when he was forced to bootleg to his left, he was going to try to turn and hit Brock Martin on the wheel route on the backside.
And Mount Union, they were collapsing towards Morgan. So here comes the punt. Elliott. Hold the Bears, and they'll drop the punt. Elliott's still got time. He'll get it away. It's a low line drive of a kick. Lucky he gets it away, as that time Mount Union did not have the rush on, even though the one defender almost had a shot at it. It's going to roll all the way to the 32-yard line. So
Dow Cameron again. That's a hard play, too, for a right-footed kicker. With the guy coming to him from his right, he has to try to figure out if he can rugby kick it well or not.
And he did. Football's at the 33.
So 2 interceptions and a punt to start the first half, or the first part of the second half.
Clock coming up on 8 minutes.
It'd be great if the right upright wasn't in my way to see the
score,
the last number.
Yep. That's a challenge.
Still can't get a better place to call a college football game.
No, we're right on the 50, or right near the 50, and pass is completed, and Parker will get.
He's not going to like his spot on that either.
They're going to move that back to the 40.
They give him 7 on that.
That'll make it 2nd down and 3.
It's already his 6th catch in this ball game. Northern having to bring in a lot of different guys. Again, they're using different corners. Ed Manning is the normal starting corner, but I have not seen him yet.
Here comes Parker. He's got the first down and more across midfield. He's at the 40, still on his feet to the 30. He'll dive forward to about the 27-yard line. 33-yard
gain. And I don't know if you saw it, but Dalton Jong was about halfway on that run. He was laying on the ground and tried to reach up and grab a hold of him, and Parker just slapped his hand away. I said, "You're not getting another one of your almost 20 tackles on me."
So DeAndre Parker with the big run. First down, deep into Ohio Northern territory go the Purple Raiders.
Acting like he's Wayne Ruby.
Yeah. Plunk, he'll look to the left. There it is, wide open, touchdown. Number 6, Wayne Ruby.
And number 4 on the day.
And Ruby makes it look so easy, doesn't he?
How about that, though? Back-to-back plays. It ends up totaling 67 yards, and Mount took not even a minute and a half.
6:52 left to go, third quarter. Mount going to try and add the extra point here. Piccirilli.
He's perfect on the year in extra points.
Good snap, good hold, good kick. It's up, it's good. Our score from Ohio Northern, Mount Union 38, Ohio Northern University nothing. You're watching college football on NKTelco Sports.
Kemmler Orthopedic Center is focused on a personalized, caring approach to treat all aspects of orthopedics, including total joint replacement, shoulder reconstruction, stem cell injections, and more. Dr. James Kemmler and Jed Cooney, certified PA, are dedicated to providing the best orthopedic care in the Grand Lake region. Kemmler Orthopedic Center has offices located in Salina and Van Wert, along with extended evening hours. To schedule an appointment, call our office at 419-586-5760.
Kogi Plumbing and Heating is your Bryant Factory authorized dealer. We have brought the best of comfort, control, and plumbing services to the St. Mary's area for over 60 years. We have been Reader's Choice winners for the last 4 years running and excel at providing our customers with efficient and reliable heating and air conditioning, as well as responsive service when a plumbing emergency arises. We insist that the products we install in our customers' homes and businesses offer the same performance and value that we expect ourselves. Call today for your next plumbing and heating or air conditioning needs. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Wayne Ruby makes his 4th touchdown catch of today's game. He's got 153 yards receiving, 9 catches, and set up with a big run there by DeAndre Parker. 18 rushes, 132 yards. Just some impressive numbers by Mount Union as the kick is away. And Peyton will watch it sail into the end zone.
I was looking for a couple of Mount's records, and I was trying to figure out some things. DeAndre Parker had a game against John Carroll last year where he had 14 receptions. Wayne Ruby, who's number 2 on that list all time, had 16 against John Carroll. They both feel like that they could probably be on that. We were talking about Ruby and what he was going to do. The Mount Union record is 310 yards receiving in a game. Randall Knapp back in 03 had 11 catches for 300 yards. That's pretty good.
That's very good. Yep. Mount Union looking to go unbeaten in OAC play, but boy, as you watch this season and watch this game, and I'm sure as we watch the season unfold, they're definitely going to have their sights set on something a little bit higher when this season comes to playoff time.
Well, and last year too was they kind of got back to what they're used to, and that they hadn't been to really the promised land in a while, and they were able to kind of use that leadership from Jeff Dart, who won 3 titles when he played at Mount Union. And he's now, well, actually both coaches are Mount Union alums, because you've got Dean Paul, who once upon a time had the purple and white of Alliance on.
Higgins is going to roll to his left. Pass is going to be just incomplete, intended for Jet Morgan.
He's got to, at some point, go bootleg to his right, because I think Mount Union is selling out on the outside, and that they know that a right-handed kid, he wants to make that sideline throw, kind of protect Jet Morgan, who's been a bigger factor in the offense since Garrison Higgins came in, or at least in the targets. But there's got to be something. I mean, you've got 2 guys, including Austin Ike, who's one of the career receivers at Northern, to your right.
Higgins takes the snap. Got to dump a tight end screen off as number 82, Davey Berner, out of Tecumseh High School near New Carlisle with the reception.
4th catch of the year. New Carlisle Roy Plunkett. You know who he is, right? This guy that invented Teflon is from New Carlisle. Don't ask why I know that.
Teflon. That's good.
He's Teflon tough.
Teflon tough.
And there's some kind of confusion. Northern didn't have enough players on the field.
So they get it settled, and they're going to punt it away. 4th and 4. Good snap. This time, boy, just a low line drive kick. It's going to bound to the 41, and that's where Mount Union will have the football. So Purple Raiders going to have great field position one more time.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, there's not moral victories, but Northern has played, I keep going back to this, but they played much better in the second half. Mount has not been able to take advantage of those big holes, minus DeAndre Parker's big run that they did in the first half.
Mount Union with the football at the 41. Looks like we got a change in players.
This kid's good too.
Yeah, his numbers look spectacular.
So the answer to how long does the starting quarterback stay around goes to about 5 minutes in the quarter. This is a backup quarterback, Noah Beaudry, out of Erie Mason High School in Monroe, Michigan. Gained 6 on his first.
Beaudry had some great numbers as well.
17 carries, 158 yards, 11 of 13 throwing the ball. Touchdown and a pick, just a sophomore.
He'll take the snap. Gonna hand it off.
What a play.
He'll get the first down. As Redmond. Nice run by KJ Redmond. See him
7.
on special teams. He'll move the sticks. Football goes to the 46. Northern Territory.
Look at Beaudry. He actually, as a sophomore, his first game in high school, broke his own passing record that he set as a freshman. He's one of only 2 athletes in Monroe County, Michigan history to have over 1,000 passing yards and rushing yards in the same year. And again, he's the backup quarterback.
Redmond trying to get outside. Ohio Northern trying to contain him, but he'll fight forward for pickup of 3 yards, make it 2nd down and 7.
He hits that circle button for the spin move extremely early, but he's so good at it. Last week, 8 carries, 43 yards, and a score. Also caught 5 balls for 24 yards. So you continue to go down the depth chart in the backfield, bringing a new guy. Here is Mount Union.
And their depth chart is quite deep as number 24, Lance Mitchell. Or
penalty flag.
Boudreaux gets it to near the 40-yard line.
Give the side judge credit because he threw that one pretty high in the air. Illegal formation.
Mount Union with the penalty. That's their 5th of the afternoon. Football's going to be at the 48-yard line. Lots of substitutes now coming into the lineup. Beaudry looks to the sideline. Boy, they're set at quarterback, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Again, this young man's a sophomore. He's probably going to be the next guy in line for Braxton Plunk's job.
In motion to the right side. Beaudry takes the snap. And we've got a whistle and a stop.
We've got kind of a mix between the first and second guys that maybe don't necessarily play together.
That penalty will go against Mount Union again as they kind of it's kind of like a line change in hockey. They're kind of getting acclimated very quickly here with all the substitutes that have come in for Mount Union here with as we go under 3 minutes, clock counting down. On the John and Tony's restaurant scoreboard. And there's going to be another penalty.
Not often that you get an illegal snap.
That's going to go against
Should be the new center.
John Cisneros, number 51.
He came into the middle of a play. It was kind of an oddity when he replaced Mason Fortner after the ball that didn't quite make it to the quarterback.
Boudreaux with the run. He'll go to the left side. He'll get maybe a yard or so.
So I think as he gets closer to the sideline, there'll be a coach saying maybe you could put that ball in your left hand. I'll be much more happy about that.
Thanks to the penalties, they're looking at 3rd down and 20.
Can you call the Parker play if he's on the sideline?
No, you can't.
Oh, you can try. It's probably just not very effective. Be the one place you wouldn't want to throw him the ball.
Yeah, that'd be the safest play to get him the ball if you're the defense.
They tried that in Varsity Blues.
There's the snap. Boudreaux looking long, trying to get all more. Boy, he's wide open, but just a little bit overthrown.
That's a heck of a throw, though, to Edwin Reed. I don't even think that I could throw half of that distance.
Pass is incomplete, and that's going to set up the 4th down and 20. So Ohio Northern.
Elliott Warner out of New Philadelphia back in New Philadelphia, born and raised. Might be in West Philadelphia.
Kick it away.
But DeMario back to return.
He stands at the 10. Nice high kick into the wind. Fair catch made at about the 14. Ohio Northern will have the football.
That's just the 6th punt of the year for Mount Union. And 2 of them have come in this game. Like I said, you look at the second half, and I realize folks from Alliance are probably going to tweet us at NKTelco Sports, at Michael Hearn PvP, and say, you know, we're using a lot of our other team guys, right? But the goal of the game is to stop the other team. And that is what Northern is doing right now.
Higgins take the snap. And off Martin, and maybe a yard or so.
He's not even the quarterback anymore. Northern has gone to their 3rd different quarterback. It'll be Evan Tekancic out of Hilliard Davidson, the 6'3", 210 junior. So he's the 4th different quarterback. Mechanical engineering major getting his first opportunity.
Tekancic, number 15. 6'3" junior, as you said. Tekancic will take the snap.
I thought maybe the offensive line had left early, but they might have needed to leave yesterday to try to stop that big man that was coming through the line.
Not much running room there for the Polar Bears, as it's going to make it 3rd down and 11.
Elijah Franklin out of Jacksonville, Florida, with the tackle. 6'3", 235. He's big. I don't believe 235. He looks like he's been eating pretty well. The pressure that Mount was able to get with just the 3 down linemen. So they're almost at the end of the 3rd quarter.
Final seconds counting down, as you can see it on scoreboard. 12 seconds, last play probably. There's a fumble. Scooped up. Mount Union will have it at the 18-yard line.
Was a happy young man on that fumble recovery. I want to say
number 22, maybe.
That's what I was trying. I thought at first it was Sexton 27, but
Landon Jenkins, perhaps.
Could be. It is Landon Jenkins.
Tough
we have a great PA guy here, Mike Miller. The Mike Miller.
The Mike Miller.
From all of your radios.
Yes. Final seconds counting down.
Talk to him about Putnam County every time I'm over there.
Redmond trying to go left side. He'll dive forward to the 15-yard line.
Dalton Jong there to greet him.
And that's going to be it for the 3rd quarter play. Our score, Mount Union 38, Ohio Northern nothing. You're watching college football on NKTelco Sports.
New Knoxville Supply Company, the supply source for residential, commercial, and industrial jobs. We specialize in plumbing products from many name brands, electrical products from replacing a light switch to rewiring an entire house, heating, air conditioning, and geothermal products, sheet metal ductwork, installations, and service. We are now housing more inventory, so all the hardware items you need to complete the job are available right away. New Knoxville Supply. Stop in, call, or check us out online at newknoxvillesupply.com.
Unpack your potential with a career at Pratt Industries. Working at Pratt Industries is more than a job. It's a sustainable career.
Pratt Industries to me is a job. It's my career. It's the way I put food on my table, but I love what I do.
We offer competitive pay, excellent benefits, and opportunities for career advancement. To apply, visit careers.prattindustries.com.
Back here at Ohio Northern University, the Mount Union Purple Raiders living up to their #2 billing in the country as they try and punch in another touchdown here against Ohio Northern. As you mentioned earlier, though, Michael, Ohio Northern has played some halfway decent defense at times today. I know that's a little bit contrary to what the scoreboard shows, but that's been probably the bright spot.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a hard thing. People look at the score and go, no, they can't. It's 38-0. But remember, it was 31-0 at the break. And that last touchdown was kind of a different thing in that Mount hadn't run a zone read option. And I was just talking about that right before, that it was open with how Northern had been kind of pinching down on the inside. But, I mean, credit Coach Dart. His guys over there are making good adjustments.
This is Redmond. He's got room. He's at the 5 looking for the end zone, and he'll find it. And the first play of quarter number 4, and Mount Union is on the scoreboard, making it 44-0.
He got the linebacker to sort of bite on the fact that he was going to go inside in Colin Flynn out of Sagamore Hills. And then he just took off to the outside, just hit the afterburners. It's not even fair to be that fast.
Piccarelli will try the extra point. Perfect on the season. Trying to make it nothing. Good snap. Good kick.
4th touchdown for KJ Redmond.
And our score. Mount Union 45, Ohio Northern 0. You're watching. Whoops. Got a flag. Hang on.
He's standing on it. How am I supposed to see that? He does not want anybody to touch that flag. They went over to explain.
They don't want it to blow away, I guess.
It could be.
That's the only possible explanation.
He doesn't want it to end up in the lake back there. So they must have.
They're going to mark it off on the kickoff. Extra point is good. So,
face mask on Northern.
Face mask against Northern. Our score, Mount Union 45, Ohio Northern 0. You're watching college football on NKTelco Sports. Back here at Ohio Northern, Polar Bears down 45-0. There you see the Mount Union squad getting ready to kick it off.
We were trying to show that in the background of that, they got done right before we came back, that the Mount Union cheerleaders who were up into the top of the screen to your right as you're watching this, they have to do push-ups for every single point. It's 45-0.
That's a lot of push-ups.
They probably, well, I mean, if you do the math, every time that it goes up, you have to do for what's on the scoreboard. So they've probably done 300 push-ups today. Look, they look tired. Just standing around, not even really utilizing their pom-poms.
That'll keep them in good strength.
And again, you throw one into the air, it might disappear. Might end up in Lima at this point. The ball blew off the tee.
We're going to set a record. We're going to set a record for balls being blown off the tee here. It's going to be marked at the 50 after the face mask call from Ohio Northern.
Northern instead of having a good go of it, being ball 1-16 against his alma mater. Mount is 22-8 all-time here in Ada. Weird thing about the series I was reading, they play in the afternoon. Wow, that ball held up. But Ohio Northern is 8-0 in night games in the series. And they only have 14 wins in the series.
So I think maybe we play this game
at night. Try to schedule them out at night, yeah.
night game if you're Ohio Northern. That's an interesting
There are two places, though, between here and Kara Stadium and Alliance, that when the sun starts to go down, I remember, I think it was 06 or 07, my wife and I went to a game up there in this series, and it is a beautiful stadium in Alliance when the sun starts to go down. Nick Tangeman, a Marion local wide receiver, in on the top half of your screen for the first time. It's got a room for just all of his state championship rings back at home in Maria Stein.
Tekancic, the quarterback, he'll drop straight back. He's looking for Tangeman, but he's going to find a lot of pressure.
And fortunately for him, all the guys that were looking for him were all wearing white jerseys.
As a host of Mount Union defenders will bring him down.
It's including that guy you were talking about on the fumble recovery the last time around in Landon Jenkins. Also, Elijah Franklin picked himself up another TFL.
Second down and 20 as the clock counts down. 13 minutes and 40 seconds plus remain. Two receivers left side. And Ohio Northern quarterback will keep it to Tekancic, and
Jameer Nunley in at running back for Northern.
Nunley, he'll get it to the 19.
It's out of Mayfield High School in Cleveland. There's some confusion there. I think Northern has Tekancic got nailed.
He's come down. He's on his knees, so we've got a break in the action. We'll keep it right here and remind you that this afternoon's contest is brought to you by John and Tony's Restaurant, Four Seasons Drive-Thru, Jalapenos Mexican Grill, whatever cards and games, and NKTelco. Our MVP sponsor today, Northwest Ohio Liquidations, and our scoreboard sponsor, John and Tony's, all bringing you this afternoon's game from Ada. We'd like to remind you that NKTelco Sports and its sponsors are pleased to bring you replays of today's college football action on NKTelco Channel 3 or in HD on Channel 503. Friday, October 21st at 5 p.m. Sunday, October 23rd at 1 p.m. You can also watch more games on demand through YouTube, Facebook, and at nktelco.com/sports.
Trevor O'Connell's going to come back into the ball game. Garrison Higgins, who was out, he's not back yet. And at this point, Tekancic's going out because I saw him working either with his left wrist or his left hand.
So Tekancic goes out, and McConnell, pass incomplete.
You can see DeMario is not thrilled. That ball was at his feet.
He's open, too. That's why he's not thrilled. Thought he had an opportunity there. Very frustrating afternoon for the Polar Bears.
And again, I keep going back to this because Mount's defense, or Northern's defense, has been much better than what their offense has been, but the offense hasn't been able to be on the field long enough to really give them a chance in terms of maybe catching a breath.
Elliott to kick it away with the win this time. Line drive kick is going to be fielded, and fair caught at the 41-yard line. And number 14, Cam Kamlowski, he'll bring it in. So Mount Union will have it. Football at the 41.
That ball wasn't so much fair caught as it was just almost through him.
A line drive.
And the crazy thing is, I was looking at it as it was up in the air. It was traveling sideways. A great field position for Mount as they continue to cycle through available players. Northern's only win this year in Game 2 against Capital. It's a new connection. The quarterback in Beaudry.
Oh, fumble. Picked up. Race for the football. Does Ohio Northern get a break?
That was not Orion Finley. The two other guys who are wearing that number are listed as defensive players on my roster. But the offensive line able to recover it.
Thanks
and
to the offensive
catch,
lineman.
a fumble, and a loss of a yard.
We all go all the way back to the 40. So it's second down and 11. Football resting at the 40-yard line.
Somebody's beating that drum pretty hard.
Beaudry straight back. He's going to run it this time. He's going to be brought down there. Defensive play there by number 55 for.
It was 95. His jersey sort of
ruffled.
Curled up in Connor Rowe at Crestwood High School. 6'6", 250. And see if he wants to play some basketball. Connor Rowe, by the way, went to Mantua High School. Same high school as Pittsburgh Steelers' Jack Lambert. That was a mean defense.
There's the snap over the middle.
What a throw.
Right on the numbers. Great completion. Football goes to the 45.
That was Eric Pride out of Syracuse, New York.
It's going to be short of the first down, so it's going to make it 4th down and 4. And for one of the few times Mount Union will kick it away.
It was going to be their third. When I say they had 5 coming into today, you got 3 today.
Elliot Warner will kick it.
He was averaging about 32.5. Well, actually, they had 4 kicks, so Mount has almost as many punts today as they have in the first 3 games of the year.
DeMario will stand at about the 19-yard line, and he'll try and field it. High snap, good rush, line drive of a kick. They almost had it. It's going to roll down to about the 21-yard line. So Ohio Northern will have the football right at the 20-yard line. So clock has 10:23, 10:28. Make it. There's that.
I'm trusting crossbar. Let's just wait for the stats to update to tell me. You look at what we have coming up, by the way, October 15th, after Northern takes a bye next week. We'll have John Carroll here for a 1:30 start. And then homecoming comes in the very last home game of the year. A 3-game stretch of home games for Northern. They get homecoming against Muskingum on the 22nd.
And Muskingum is a team that lost in convincing fashion.
59-0.
To Mount Union. McConnell straight ahead across the 20.
Got 1.
Second down and 9. You take a look at some of these numbers today, and it's pretty convincing. 57 yards total offense for Ohio Northern. 45 through the air, only 12 rushing.
About 453 to 57 total offense. You go back and you look at the half, and Mount had well over 300 yards. So, I mean, it's significantly cut down like I was talking about here in the second half. Mount goes home to take on Heidelberg next Saturday, homecoming at Karas Stadium, before they go to Capital the week after.
Handoff straight ahead.
Might be the best run that Northern's had.
Is that Cameron Cox, number 19?
Out of Greenon High School, the sophomore running back.
Young man gets the carry.
Gains 5.
Nice pickup, makes it third down and 4.
That's the second longest run by a Northern player. There's Nick Tangeman, you see coming through on your screen. They'll check out of the ball game as Northern now cycles through their receiver set. Bring in Jordan Dean out of Via Angela St. Joseph. So Nate Dean also out of Via Angela St. Joseph. I think there might be a connection there.
There's the snap. Down over the middle. Boy, almost intercepted, but it's incomplete. Trying to get it to number 84. 5, Noah Miller, the big tight end out of Coldwater.
Speaking of guys with trophy rooms,
he's got a trophy room as well.
He's a great kid, too. Talked to him a couple of days ago. Unfortunately, the Coldwater community lost a couple of truly great men in New Brunswick and Brian Harlemer. And he said, I just want to tell you about those two guys that, two of the best coaches and best people you can ever have.
Elliott to kick it away for Ohio Northern. Good snap. Line drive kick. It's going to hit at the 30. Take a nice Ohio Northern roll, and it's going to go into the end zone. Might scramble back.
A 72-yard punt minus the, 74-yard punt.
74-yard punt. That'll help the average, no doubt about it.
The problem is it really turns out to be what he loses 25 because of the way that the net works on that. So still at 50 yards, I mean, that's not too bad.
And Mount Union will have the football at the 20-yard line. So it's 1st and 10 for the Purple Raiders with 8:39 to go.
Oh, sorry, actually, it ends up being a net of 54 because they get to the 20. The kickoffs are 25.
Yeah, it's a good story you're telling about New Brunswick. And
yeah, unfortunately, officially passed away last night around 10 o'clock. He's 750 wins.
That's a lot of baseball wins to lose in a year.
And two just terrific human beings.
Yeah, you can't find them any better than those two, that's for sure.
So this is the cycle through your program part of the program.
Here comes the handoff. That'll be number 24, Lance Mitchell.
South Lake, Michigan.
Mitchell goes back
South
the
Lake
other
High
way.
School in St. Clair Shores, Michigan. Gains 2. And that's, again, that is a play that takes a second or two to develop because you kind of run the Statue of Liberty where you hold the ball, wait for the guy to run through, and then he has to grab it, try to get to full speed, and turn back the other way. I've noticed Mount has run that with a couple of different backs now.
Mount Union over the middle. Pass is completed. Another nice gain for the Purple Raiders as they get it to the 45. Edwin Reed with the catch.
Dr. Kropp High School in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
1st and 10. Mount Union on the move at the 45. Beaudry taking the snap. He'll hand it off. He'll go outside. Mitchell does. Gets near midfield. He'll pick up about 4 yards. Make it 2nd down and 6.
So Mount is in an interesting position right now. They've taken 2 minutes off with just 3 plays, but outgaining Northern 482 to 63. They picked up 22 first downs on the way. And really in the second half, Braxton Plunk, DeAndre Parker, and Wayne Ruby weren't really factors. They didn't play, but the 3 of them put up close to about 400 yards combined.
Impressive numbers by that trio. Mitchell on the draw. He'll have the 1st down, and he'll move it into Ohio Northern territory at the 40-yard line.
11-yard gain on the play.
Boy, you look at Mount Union, and what a machine. They're so deep. They're 2-3 deep very easily. And, Jeff Dart just continuing that fine tradition that Mount Union has.
13 national titles, 30 undefeated regular seasons, 32 OAC titles, including the oddity in the COVID season.
How would you like to be a head coach and your only loss is in 3 years is in a NCAA semifinal game?
Well, remember when they had Wisconsin Whitewater in a 7-year period, they played a best of 7. I mean, Mount Union won 3 of 7. Think about that. 3 national titles in a 7-year span. You're disappointed because you lost 4 national title games. That doesn't happen. That's not a real statistic.
No, That's very true.
Jokingly told somebody they played a best of 7. They said, no, they played one game a year. They did for 7 straight years. Like that's it's not a real thing.
Not a real thing. That's a good way to put it. Under 5 minutes. Pass is going to be incomplete. That'll stop the clock at 4:55.
I don't know what happened over there. There was a race. It was 4 or 5 different people. Looked like my daughter's gymnastics class. Just everybody doing their tumbles.
Keene drops the pass. That'll stop the clock, and it's going to set up 3rd down and 10.
But again, it's, you know, a credit to Mount Union when, for instance, going back to the 05 game, when Mount Union had their 110-game winning streak snapped, it made number 1 on ESPN. Flag goes down because it was such a big deal, and, you know, the Northern kids wanted to storm the field. That penalty came from the line judge immediately.
Boudry with the carry. You'll get it maybe back to the 41.
I don't know if you see in your picture right now that you could see, but number 77 for Mount Union, Taslim Chisholm, listed as 6'3", 285 from Perth Amboy, New Jersey. He is a big 285. I'm thinking they're eating well out there in Alliance.
He can move some bodies up front on that offensive line. I think the call's against him.
It should be holding.
It's going to be procedure, it looks like. It's going to be declined. It's going to be 4th down. At least that's what the chains are telling us. 4th down and...
Well, it kind of had to wait to... Northern declined it to get to 4th down. Okay.
Yeah, 4th down and 7 is what it looks like.
So it ends up being about a gain of 3 on the play.
DeMario will stand at the 10-yard line. And Northern, they're coming. Kick is away. DeMario is going to fall at the 20 and bounce back to the 23, and they'll down it right there.
I like when the backups get in there.
Yeah.
Kind of how they chase the ball and like, let me make sure that I got it. That's that time around, I want to say, was Alex Apodaca, the freshman linebacker out of Pittsburgh. Just said, hey guys, I got it. It's fine.
Under control, saved us a few yards. Football's at the 25. And
if you like punts, this second half is for you.
Let's see who comes in. Quarterback, we go to the list again.
McConnell again.
That's number 5.
I think he's going to be the guy.
Number 5 is, McConnell.
I think really the only guy that Northern has not used is Robbie Levick, the senior out of Macedonia.
So we've got a timeout. So we'll keep it right here and remind you that today's game brought to you by the following sponsors: John and Tony's Restaurant, Four Seasons Drive-Thru, Jalapenos Mexican Grill, Whatever Cards and Games, and NKTelco, our MVP sponsor for today's game, Northwest Ohio Liquidations, and our scoreboard sponsor, John and Tony's. Additional sponsors: Whatever Cards and Games, Four Seasons Drive-Thru, and Jalapenos Mexican Grill, with locations in Ada and Shawnee. And replays for this afternoon's contest on NKTelco Sports. They'll be on Channel 3 or in HD on Channel 503, Friday, October 21st at 5 p.m., Sunday, October 23rd at 1 p.m. You can also watch more games on demand through YouTube, Facebook, and at nktelco.com/sports.
Other OAC games going on right now. John Carroll up 52-0 on Wilmington, beginning the 4th. Heidelberg and Muskingum tied at 21. Capital and Otterbein started at 2 as McConnell takes the snap and runs forward for 3 yards. Other game just getting ready to get started. About an hour, Baldwin Wallace and Marietta.
Saying atop the conference, of course, Mount Union and John Carroll, they're going to go to 3-0 today. So that shapes up as the big matchup down the road here in the OAC. Heidelberg right now at 2-1, as is Wilmington and Baldwin Wallace. Marietta, Muskegon 1-1. Ohio Northern slotted in at 1-2. Otterbein and Capital winless in OAC play. And that's your update on the OAC.
Nunley nowhere to go.
Nunley tries to get it up near the 30, but it's going to be short of that at about the 28. So
John Carroll and Mount Union don't meet until November the 5th in Alliance.
That'll probably be the game of the year if things hold as they are.
I would think so, and it's that's a gem too for the OAC, by the way, to be able to have that many, as you see the crowd here on hand, to have that many great teams that people are talking about across the college landscape.
McConnell looks to the sideline for the play.
Ike's in the slot. Something's going on there because a timeout's going to have to be burned. There was a miscommunication between the play calls. Northern didn't have anybody who seemed to know what was going on.
So with a little over 3 minutes to go in this one, we'll take a break in the action. Mount Union 45, Ohio Northern nothing. You're watching college football on NKTelco Sports.
Whatever Cards and Games in Ada is your locally owned, family-friendly business for all your gaming needs. We carry a wide range of collectible card games, board games, family games, role-playing games, educational games for all ages, and more. Stop in today for your much-needed expansion packs and war miniatures. We are an official tournament store for Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, and Cardfight Vanguard. Expect an enjoyable time at Whatever Cards and Games, where there's fun for everyone.
Ohio Northern with the football, looking at a 3rd down and 7. McConnell, pass incomplete. Boy, the defense right on Ohio Northern. And
McConnell got nailed.
Everybody got nailed, I think, on that play.
The defender, it's kind of an oddity that he got up and he had something to say to the offensive lineman who actually hit him after he hit McConnell.
So the football is at the 27, and once again Ohio Northern's going to kick it away.
I think it was the aptly named Jazz Jackson out of Wadsworth that tried to get himself a sack. They give away sandwiches, by the way, when the Northern defense gets a sack.
There's the kick. It's going to bounce deep. Another great roll.
Oh, that hit about the 9.
Another great punt.
.62 yards, I would say, on that punt.
So let's see, John Michael Elliott, 62-yarder. He's averaging right now 40.4. Longest today is 74. Add that.
Which again, I think he only gets credit for. He loses the 20, I think, when they figure out the average, right? Because it went into the end zone.
He's kicked for 323 yards, 8 punts.
It's not what you want.
So that's 40 yards per
Muskingum had close to 500 punting yards last week against Mount.
500 punting yards. That's an incredible stat. I've never heard of it.
I read that one 4 times. It's like, what?
I don't think I've ever. That punter, he's got to have a sore leg after that.
I gave him a Snickers, I hope.
Yeah. 2nd down and 6. 2.5 minutes left in this one as Mount Union.
Oh, sorry. The guy last week had 317. It was the guy 2 weeks ago that had, I think, close to 500.
Comes the handoff. There's the keeper. And
again, this is, you want to see the future of Mount Union football. The future is right now at quarterback.
Pick up the 1st down, and the clock keeps counting down as we go under 2 minutes.
They call Albert Pujols a machine, but I think they got that wrong. I think it's Mount Union. couple of weeks ago, Elliott Warner had 563 yards on just his kickoffs. Mount had 636 yards on their kickoffs. They had 10 of them. Do the math. 60 yards a kickoff.
And it looks like the Mount Union Purple Raiders are in the victories formation as they'll take a knee, and it's 2nd down and 11 as we count it down. And Mount Union will go to 4-0 overall, 3-0 in the OAC play. Ohio Northern falls to 1-4 and 1-3 as
I think the bye week is going to come at the right time for Northern.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out who the starting quarterback is when we're back here in 2 weeks.
You know, and it's really tough when you play a team at the level that Mount Union is. You know, so dominant, and they've been that way all season long. They've been historically that way all season long, all throughout their history. So that's going to be it as the final seconds are going to count down.
Evan Butcher took that knee. The official took the ball from him, and he turned, put his hand out, and said, "Sir, can I please have that? That's our ball." I'm going to need to take that with me.
So our final score here from Ohio Northern, we'll be back with our recap here in just a moment. Mount Union 45, Ohio Northern nothing. You're watching college football on NKTelco Sports.
Four Seasons Drive-Thru, we offer weekly specials that are sure to satisfy all appetites. Monday through Thursday, come in to enjoy our daily lunch specials. Friday is our Get It Till It's Gone fish special. Friday and Saturday, grab a 16-inch 3-item pizza, 10 wings, and a 2-liter for just $20. Sunday, we also have a 3-piece chicken for $5 and a 16-piece for $20. Four Seasons Drive-Thru, great drinks, great food, wonderful service, and amazing prices.
Households are using more connected devices than ever before. TVs are streaming, smartphones are browsing, security cameras are watching, and virtual assistants are, well, assisting.
You'll need an umbrella today.
As you add more devices, we are constantly improving our technology to deliver the fastest and most reliable internet to your home. So make sure you have enough bandwidth. Get NKTelco high-speed internet with speeds up to 1 gig. Call 1-888-NKTelco today.
Hi, I'm Mallory. My grandpa's been making the world's worst pizza for 30 years. That doesn't look like the world's worst pizza. Grandpa, I know why they call you Chunky Bob. It's because you use chunky ingredients on your pizza.
Of course. It's not because I'm fat.
Grandpa, this is the world's best pizza. Keyhole Pizza, come check Grandpa out.
Dine in or carry out.
At First National Bank, we are working hard to make your life a little easier. With products like Card Valet, an app allowing you to control your cards with real-time notifications, transaction restrictions, and spending limits. The ability to access your money through 55,000 all-point ATMs across the country, surcharge-free. Live customer support when you need it, and online and mobile banking, allowing you to gain access to your financial information wherever and whenever you like. First National Bank, making your life a little easier.
Mount Union comes away with a 45-0 win over Ohio Northern University today. They jumped out to a quick start, scoring the first 2 times they had the football in almost perfect fashion in that opening quarter, and never looked back for a 45-0 win over Ohio Northern. Polar Bears, as the numbers here will show, never really had too much of a threat on offense. Let's take a look at those numbers, Michael.
But again, I don't have it in front of me, but if you remember, Mount Union had almost 400 total yards at the half. So the second half defensively was a lot better. And we talked about it for Northern, but 207 on the ground, 299, 314. I mean, so there you go. I mean, less than 200 yards in the second half. Just the 1 pick, 2 turnovers for Mount, but it's 45-0, 506 total yards to 66. We talked about the rushing game, and I don't know what it is that Northern right now just can't get it going. Brock Martin, I don't know if he's not right or if it's just he doesn't have a lot of time to make the normal cuts. that he has not been great this year, especially when you consider what his ceiling is and how good he has been. Northern couldn't run the football, and as we've learned over the years, if you can't run the football, it's going to make it a lot harder to try to throw the football. Also, using 4 quarterbacks didn't help either.
Yeah, when you have to use that many quarterbacks, it makes it very difficult, as those numbers will indicate.
A kid just put a bunch of that field turf into his shoe.
Well,
so
Mom and Dad will find out. So those are the final numbers here. Let's thank our sponsors and move on here this afternoon. Sponsors for today's game: John and Tony's Restaurant, Four Seasons Drive-Thru, Jalapenos Mexican Grill, Whatever Cards and Games, and NKTelco. I want to especially thank our MVP sponsor, which is Northwest Ohio Liquidations. Scoreboard sponsor, John and Tony's. Additional sponsors: Whatever Cards and Games, Four Seasons Drive-Thru, and Jalapenos Mexican Grill, with locations in Ada and Shawnee. And once again, replays of today's college football action on NKTelco Channel 3 or in HD on Channel 503, Friday, October 21st at 5 p.m., Sunday, October 23rd at 1 p.m. You can also watch more games on demand through YouTube, Facebook, and at nktelco.com/sports. And I want to thank our crew here today. On the camera, Mark Fissel, Kurt Kuffner, and Jim Miller. Our director today, Scott Robinson. I'm Dave Helmstetter, is joined by Michael Hearn. Once again, our final score: Mount Union 45, Ohio Northern University 0. You've been watching college football on NKTelco Sports.